Hey everyone, welcome to Breakout Wednesday for the 3rd of May 2023. It's currently about 3 p.m. on the West Coast, 5 p.m. on the East Coast. First of all, remember, this is never financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is simply a video blog on how one trader sees the market, and everyone needs to take responsibility for their own decisions. Okay, so the market's kind of done a whole bunch of nothing the last 2 weeks. It's kind of drifted down and fell a bit heavier the last few days. All right, pretty hard market for pure traders. I guess. For the investors out there, there's still opportunity, stuff being able to be bought, at decent prices, overreactions maybe, emotional kind of irrationality going on in some stocks. But and I'm going to talk about that more in a sec. But first of all, let's just get cracking on some stuff, all right? So BH, I completely murdered the entry on BH, okay? This is in a self-managed super fund. Usually in the self-managed super fund, I'm only picking up stock when it's getting hammered, right? When there's blood on the street and I'm getting it real cheap. Down at its 200-day or below it or whatever, right? I thought this was breaking out of its base. I was wrong. Picked up some at 47. I could have got it a few days later at 42 something. So, I made a mistake there, and it was definitely a reminder myself, don't try and, trade breakouts on the self-managed super fund stuff. Just the things I want to hold for the next 20 years and collect dividends and compound it, just wait for them to be getting hammered and get some then, right? So the lesson to be learned, I've learned that lesson many times, but learn it again there. So I'm just holding that, right? I think I've bought like 10, 11, 12, I forget, passes of BHP over the years. The dividends are just accumulating, and it's just crazy how powerful that is, right? And so I don't really care that I stuffed up my latest entry on it because I've got so many entries on it, who cares, right? But I still did stuff it up, right? I got really lucky on SLA, okay? I was talking about last week, just huge base here, and it broke up and had awesome fundamentals that I like, growing company, profitable, great margins, all that sort of stuff, right? And then a huge gap up as Wes Farmers are, offering to buy them out. That's just luck of the draw. I just got lucky, right? There's plenty of trades that look like this that don't go like that. But I just think that you really do have to be in it to win it. I think the people that are too cowardly to kind of enter positions right now. You're never going to have big wins. But but that really was a bit of stroke of luck, and you do get some luck when you have enough swings. With I tend to have quite a few swings, right? So I'm losing money on the other hand on ADT. Okay, I'm just being patient at a wide stop. I'm expecting to get stopped out on that, all right? So I did break my rules and take a bit off the table on WTC up here. I probably shouldn't have. Who knows? But I did. And I've got a small profit on the other half, okay? But I just kind of, I don't know, the market was rolling over. I didn't want to see my paper profit turn into a loss, I broke my rules. In a bull market, I would never do that. But in the market we're in right now, I just thought, I just wanted to play it safe. Well, time will tell if that was a mistake, but certainly kind of broke what I was planning to do. Hot chili, small loss on it, okay, violent break up, violent breakdown. It got out on the day that it was breaking back down violently, okay, on big volume. I just thought, shit, I don't need a big loss here, so I took a small loss, okay? And the only one I want to talk about quickly and then use in the context of kind of trade, invest in mindsets is NU. So this is the latest kind of long-term position I've added on this stock on the NISI. Kind of a digital bank that I really like, and they've got amazing fundamentals and growth stories behind it. And I'm up about on my first purchase. I was in $4.40 something, so whatever that is. At one stage I was up about 20% or whatever, right? So, the classic trading side of my brain, trader that's been heavily influenced by Mark Minervini and all that sort of stuff, would have totally trimmed or sold a bunch. Once I was up about 20%, okay? But there's like a conundrum there in the sense that, pure traders like that are never, ever, ever going to make 10 baggers. They're never going to make a 20 bagger. I know some traders and investors, I meant to say, that have made multiple 100 baggers, okay? And you're certainly not going to make 100 bags if you're scared about tiny little reactions and you're taking 20% profits. There's no right way to do this. there's a lot of opinionated people around who say there's a right way to do it. The right way to do it is what you think's the right way and what you commit to, and I'm trying to do both, and I am doing both, right? I'm not trying to do both, and I'm 100% doing both, I love the investing side. Since I started getting really committing to the investing side of things, years and years ago now, my life's become way more fun, because I'm analyzing companies for what they are, like these are actual real companies, I love the trading side of it because during a bull market, I do really well, I'm good at the momentum stuff and the breakouts and riding bull market trends, but I also love the long-term investing. And the point of bringing this up is that I'm not going to sell it like I would if I was trading it, because I think this can 5-bag or 10-bag over into the future. And there's a different way of looking at it. Investors who do this sort of stuff don't give a shit if this thing goes to zero, because if they have 10 or 15 positions, they just need a couple of them to be runaway multi-baggers, okay? 3 of them can go broke for all they care, and a couple of them can be just sideways boring things that go nowhere, okay? Do the math on it, and there is no right or wrong way, okay? There's the Warren Buffett and Peter Lynch and all these guys who have a vastly different way to doing things, and guys, traders like Mark Minervini. Doesn't mean either of them are, wrong, doesn't mean Minervini's wrong, but, I do know that Minervini sells, bloody tips for $600 US a month, right? If I had 200 million in the bank, I would not be selling you tips for 600. Shit, I don't even sell anyone tips or sell anyone anything, right? I don't have quite 200 million in the bank, okay? So it's food for thought, right? And I love doing both. And, I'd encourage, I can never give financial advice, but, it's definitely been a fruitful thing for me once I open my mind to doing both, okay? And that's enough on that. KMD, I'm going to go through a bunch of bases now, which have potential, but remembering we are not in a bull market and we're not in a raging bull market. I mean, I still think that we're more in a bull market than bear market, right? Just by looking at where we're at, and I'm still going to take some entries, 100%, right? I'm not going to let a few down days in the market scare me away from taking great setups, because then I'm not going to be able to catch a next big winner, okay? Just got to manage the risk like always. So KMD has got a huge base, okay? And, these guys have a pretty good business behind them too, for those who give a shit and want to look into it, okay? Good margins, good cash flow, good free cash flow, and good profits. And so this is a weekly chart on KMD. Clear base there, and there aren't many bases like this around, but this is one I've found, okay? So I'm going to be really watching that carefully. I haven't made a decision on it yet, but that's one base around. Another base around is ORA, okay, which broke down heavily today on big volume, so it looks like we're not going to, that's not going to kind of play out. But I'm going to keep it on the watch list, okay? Another base around is ALL. Okay, I think most of you will know it, and okay, huge flush outs here, okay? If you just have a look at this low, right, let me just quickly do it, right? Okay, huge kind of double bottom and a little flush out, big sideways base after this downtrend, and now we're forming a really tight right-hand side kind of wedge type thing, okay? And so in a bull market, raging bull market, I'd just be all over that, 100%. Just whack quite a heavy ratio of my account into it and chill the hell out and watch it go up, right? But in a market like this, the odds of something like, this breakout and fake out and CAR happening, you've got to just remember it's much higher, okay? And so I will be taking some of these base breakouts, but it doesn't matter what market we're in. My job is to find the best technical setups in the trading account and just take 1 or 2 of them and just concentrate on them. So ALL is a good setup, right? ARB was a good setup, but it's just broken down today. I'm just watching this thing. If you just zoom out, massive base, okay, massive sideways range, okay, and then I was hoping this was going to hold it and break out. It broke down today. I'm just going to keep it on the watch list, just like ORA. And if this can just chop sideways, come back up, burn around, and then maybe one day, in a month or weeks or 6 months or a year, then this will be a good setup. but maybe it's just going to keep churning out this base for a lot longer. Who knows? Okay, but I'm certainly got that in the watch list. Okay, now there from a more long-term point of view, they're all pretty good companies. The last 4 stocks I've talked about with good fundamentals and that. Just on the trading side of thing, I'm watching the gold stocks. Okay, and this is DEG. I'm just watching that puppy, but that needs to base a lot longer. A friend of mine, Craig, good on him. He loves this stock. He loves this company. So he's been telling me about it a million times. I've been ignoring him a million times, and so definitely. I'm willing to admit when my mate was right and I was wrong, and I've kind of been not paying any attention to it, and I should have. This had this great base here. If I had not had my blinkers on and just for some reason not paying attention to this, I would have been all over that breakout. And it's had a nice run, and just the strength of this move, it's just got to be one of the strongest looking stocks at the moment on the ASX, and I'm just I'm not going to take my eye off it now, and if I can get a really good entry on it, maybe just I get an overreaction and a stupid irrational emotional move down here, or or it forms another nice base, then I'll pile in then. Okay, and I'm also just really watching some of the old leaders, because just because they're old leaders doesn't mean they can't have big moves. Okay, PointsBet is one. It's just broken it from this down resistance line, and I'm just watching it to see if a base can form. Okay, and so because some of these gaming stocks have kind of really been hammered. I mean, look at that. Holy shit. I mean, $17 down to $1 or whatever, just above $1. So that's huge, man. I mean, imagine if you whacked 100k in at $17 and just held on. Shit, that would be painful, wouldn't it? So enough said. I'm just waiting. If I can get some really nice tight bases on these, I will definitely just smack the shit out of them and see if I can. Because some of these can just when they want, they can just rally. They can just double. Go up 50, 60, 70% rallies just like that. I mean, it's already done it, right? From $1.20 up to $1.90 or whatever, but you definitely can do it again and then again, and so I'm going to watch those for good entries. Now, I got a friend who was asking me the other day, if I had a gun to my head, what are the best companies on the ASX? It's something that comes up all the time. Everyone wants to know what are the best fundamental companies in the world. I mean, I don't know. I mean, shit, I don't have the time to research every stock on the ASX, but I do know that there are a few I love, and I've talked about ResMed countless times. Great companies tend to just keep winning, right? Just like the best athletes tend to keep winning, the best sports teams tend to keep winning, for a long, long time. The best products tend to keep winning. Best companies tend to keep being good companies. All right. ResMed has a massive moat and has been a good company for a long, long time. Never really had a true bear market, has it? It has massive corrections, and I've been in this for a long, long time. And I will always buy more when this thing goes down, unless something fundamentally changes with the way the business is run. Okay, I know a lot about this company, and I think it's hands down probably the best company on the ASX as far as I'm concerned. I think Xero's up there. Like if we were having a competition on what are the best companies fundamentally on the ASX, I think Xero has to be in the mix. Okay, mainly because of just their scalability, and they've just slashed with workforce, and they're still spending a bunch of money on marketing, but once that gets reduced, they're going to be incredibly profitable. And their software is incredibly sticky. Great product, right? If you've got a small business, you probably use them. So I think they've got to be on the list. If I was creating like a top 10 of companies, I think ARB probably needs to be there somewhere. I think Macquarie Bank would probably be on that list at some point. And there's a bunch of others, but I'm probably going to look like an idiot, because you always look like an idiot when you do these types of exercises. But they are some companies I like. There's a bunch more, but that's it for now. And then the only other real thing is just the US market. I like the US market because, let's face it, like, this is where all the shit happens. Okay, the ASX is tiny, man. It's just some tiny backwater on the edge of the earth that no one gives a shit about other than us. And the real things happening in the world, the big things happening in the world, are happening in America, right? With some exceptions, of course. And Google is forming this nice base, and obviously is just at the forefront of what's happening in the world with AI and stuff. And so I've already got a position, but I was a bit early on it. I will be adding to it on a break of that, okay? Amazon's been getting hammered lately, but obviously huge company, and it's been just down so much from its highs. I'll be stalking that thing for a really signs of a bottom, okay? And you know, we're all impacted by NVIDIA in some ways. And NVIDIA, I think, was down last night. For some reason, that's not updated. But anyway, NVIDIA is, this thing has just been leading the US market. It's way overvalued right now. I just can't touch it up there. But if we can get a nice consolidation, a proper base, then, it is a great company, right? That's really it on the US market. Really the one thing I'm concentrating on is Google. I just want to get set on Google and get another entry on that, and I'm not sure where that'll be. Hopefully it'll be on a break here if this can just consolidate and look nice. Okay, that's it for this week. Cheers. Catch you later.